What's up, guys? Well, we're in New Orleans, as you can see here. The chief says, I will not sacrifice safety over money. Problem is, apparently nobody can keep up with the money. And when I say money, I'm talking paychecks. Isn't it enough that there's zero accountability on law enforcement? Isn't it enough that every time they screw up, the taxpayer's on the hook for the millions and millions of dollars in lawsuits? Isn't that enough? It is not. It's not. And the chief will tell you, if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. No, it's enough that we have to pay all that now. Some of them have decided that they're just going to steal money. Overtime, that's where we're at. So let's see what the chief's got to say, and we'll go to current day.
I will do what I can. I will not jeopardize safety. That's I'm not going to do it. So let me be clear with everyone listening to me. I will not jeopardize safety. It's not happening. And, I have seen that in other agencies. What hill are you willing to die on? Meaning, if that's not acceptable, then I probably wouldn't be the right chief for you. But when it comes to your safety, it's not about money to me. And
it's not about safety either, because they'll shoot you just soon as look at you.
Therefore, I will not compromise the safety over the money. I will work with you in the non-essential safety elements. But I'm not going to let an officer get hurt, and I'm not going to let the community be hurt because I'm not willing to pay overtime.
You're not? Have you been paying attention to your officers?
I'm going to do what I got to do, and I will suffer the consequences. That's called choosing which hill you're willing to die on. I will die on that hill. Meaning, if I'm not the chief for you because of that stance, I'm not the chief for you. I will do what I can.
She's not the chief for you. So, where are we at?
A months-long Fox 8 investigation finds two of the NOPD's highest-paid officers were at home when their timesheets indicate they should be on duty.
Tonight, Rob Krieger investigates.
Also, I'd like to note, like 87% of people that watch his videos are not subscribed to the channel. I don't know what you're waiting on. Click the button and we'll move along.
It's whether some of their pay is unchecked overtime.
$245,903.
$245,903.53. Nobody's paying attention to the timesheets. Nobody's paying attention to, I don't know, the fucking paychecks.
That's how much the NOPD's highest overtime earner was paid overall in 2024. Nearly a quarter.
And that was only one.
Of $1 million paid to Sergeant Henry Burke. To put that in perspective, as an NOPD police sergeant.
Also, can we notice how big and fat he is? That's the standards.
Burke's regular salary is just more than $83,000 a year. But according to documents Fox 8 obtained, last year he rang up more in overtime than his base salary. $121,000 in OT.
How do you make $121,460.76 in overtime and no fucking body notices? I think we need to go further up that chain and see what's going on with all the overtime.
And he's not alone. In 2024, 23 NOPD officers clocked more in
I rest my case.
overtime than their base salary. The majority of those are senior police officers, like Brandon Coleman, who nearly tripled his $64,000 base salary with overtime. In all, Coleman collected more than $217,000.
$217,776.16. And nobody thought when that check printed out there was anything strange about it. Base salary.
Last year.
Follow the money. Follow the money. When you have officers, they start going over 160, 180, $200,000. It is extremely difficult to get there.
Answer me this. Why are public servants making more than the public that they serve to begin with? No, they should be making the same as the public they serve. The same median wage as the public that they serve. Sorry. Their jobs are that fucking dangerous. Their job's not even in the top, I think it's 24 of 25 maybe.
Forensic scientist and NOPD watchdog
Of the most dangerous jobs.
Skip Gallagher has been tracking NOPD overtime for years. He believes some officers on the force could be padding their timesheets.
The pay records scream this. They absolutely scream this. Every time an officer clocks over 200,000, if they're not in the command structure, we should have questions about them.
If they are in the command structure, we should have questions.
And what they're doing with their time.
Fox 8 took an in-depth look. On July 13th, our undercover camera captured Henry Burke getting into a vehicle at 2:54 p.m., then driving away 1 minute later. However, his timesheet that day indicated he clocked in nearly a half hour before that, at 2:30. Burke lives outside of Orleans Parish. A typical trip from his house to his NOPD station takes about 25 minutes. 2 days
And they get take-home cars. Taxpayer cars, taxpayer gas.
later, our camera captured Sergeant Burke returning home at 6:54 in the morning, 6 minutes before he clocked out of his shift. The next day, July 16th, Burke left his home at 3:02 in the afternoon, more than 30 minutes after clocking in for his shift. During an interview with NOPD Chief Ann Kirkpatrick last week, she indicated officers traveling home should not be on the clock.
What constitutes an officer off the clock? Is it when they get home, or is it when they
No,
leave?
No, when they
It's when they
leave,
clock
their
out.
duty hour has come to an end, they're off duty, and then they have take-home vehicles, so they drive home. They're not on duty while they're driving home.
On September 24th, our undercover camera captured Sergeant Burke loading a K-9 into a vehicle, then he pulled off at 2:55. Again, nearly a half hour after he clocked in, and with at least a 25-minute drive ahead before he could arrive to his district for his more than 16-hour shift.
What disturbs me is that I have warned the department for more than 5 years that this is going on, and we still have this problem. You need to put credible resources towards fixing this problem.
Then there's senior police officer Brandon Coleman. Remember, Coleman nearly tripled his salary by working overtime last year, taking him from a base pay of about $64,000 to more than $200,000. According to NOPD payroll records, last year, on 146 different days, he claimed to work 16 hours or longer. Fast forward to July 22nd of this year. Coleman's initial timesheet indicated he worked a 16-plus hour shift from 6:25 in the morning until 11 that night. But our camera didn't capture him getting into his unit until 10:08 a.m., hours after he clocked in that day. The next day, he's clocked in for what he initially claimed was another 16-hour day on his timesheet, from 6:25 in the morning until 11 at night. But our video shows he didn't leave until 8:11 in the morning. Then on July 28th, Coleman discovered our undercover camera. Then, on July 29th, the next day, Coleman clocked in at 6:25 in the morning, but didn't leave his home until 7:41 a.m., more than an hour later. His NOPD SUV returns that evening at 6:37, but he didn't clock out until 7 p.m. The next day, nearly the same thing. Coleman clocked in at 6:25, but our camera showed he left more than an hour later at 7:48.
That is really disturbing, and it's really disturbing also, compounding the fact that we are in such a budget crisis and that every cent matters at this point. And so to see any level of abuse is incredibly disturbing and something that the chief has to handle.
New Orleans Mayor-elect Helena Moreno says the overtime questions Fox 8 raised should be addressed immediately.
There is no room for abuse. There's just not. And so any abuse that is discovered has to be absolutely cut out. I've had conversations with the chief about overtime. I've had conversations with the chief about whether there's potential abuse. I have directed her that she needs to handle this and take care of eliminating any type of abuse of overtime.
During an interview with Chief Kirkpatrick last week, she indicated the Office of the Inspector General is currently auditing overtime across the department.
As I said, look at all of us, do a report, give me names of people that you see are indiscretion. This is not a witch hunt, but it is truly to close this out. Let's change how we are documenting all of that. So I'm just looking for a clean bill of health here And I think that's the best way to get to it.
A lot of times people want to focus purely on the numbers, which are important, but the morale is also really important. And so and then the other thing is you don't want a system of, well, I see these men or women getting away with it, so now I'm going to start doing it.
New Orleans City Council member Joe Geruso believes it's essential to have a clean payroll within the NOPD to ensure the best officers.
They should all be charged and put in jail.
Aren't driven away.
You want to make sure, A, people are following the rules. That's always the most important. But that B, if there is these overtime issues where you're pointing them out, that you have strong leadership taking that action where there are problems.
Gallagher believes the numbers should be enough
5 years. That guy's been complaining about this for 5 years, and here we are.
to raise red flags and wants to see the department create genuine checks to ensure overtime isn't abused.
We don't have enough oversight. We really need to know, what is that officer doing for that overtime? Is it a positive thing? Are we getting something for our money? Because that overtime costs us a lot. And we need to know that we're getting something of value and they're actually doing something.
Moreno says even in the wake of a major city budget deficit, she understands overtime is a necessity and says while public safety is a top priority, the department
Public safety is never a top priority for them. They need to stop saying that.
must ensure its integrity isn't questioned because of unchecked overtime.
I told the chief she needs to get, a real handle on what's going on with overtime in her department. And obviously what you're bringing forward, she needs to look at and review and, verify independently that all is accurate.
We reached out to Burke and Coleman about our findings. Both declined to comment. We also asked for an interview with Chief Kirkpatrick to discuss our specific findings about the officers, but her communications team told us she's out of town. The OIG said its investigation into the NOPD's overtime policies is ongoing, writing in a statement, "We will continue to identify and mitigate fraud, waste, and/or abuse relating to city payroll, including NOPD overtime policies, procedures, and usage." Back to you.
Oh, that's not perfect. So, yes, they're so full of shit. See if any comments right quick. Why is it called overtime abuse and not outright theft? Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's theft. They don't want to call it what it is because then they should know people should be charged. Most jobs will fire you for stealing time. Yes. So law enforcement can steal all they want to. It's like it doesn't care that she offers smoking meth on the job. Why would she care about this? We're letting the criminals run the prison at this point. Smoking meth on the job. How did Coleman discover the camera, take pictures of it, and steal from taxpayers? That's pretty blatant. And sure, there will be zero accountability. Exactly. There's never any accountability. So how can employees steal time and not be fired? How can they be cops? Even Walmart fires people. Yes, everybody. There's no hope for a city when the top cops are more corrupt than the criminals they arrest. Absolutely, yes. Starts at the top. Everybody always thinks it's this one, it's that one. No, it starts at the top. At the top. And it works its way down. That's where we're at, for one. Anyway, that's where we're at with this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, 88% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Click the button and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.